Here, curiosity knows no limits. Imagine an animal small enough to fit in the palm of your hand, yet powerful enough to shatter reinforced glass as if it were nothing. The peacock mantis shrimp doesn't stand out because of its size, but because of what it hides in its arms. They function like biological hammers, capable of moving at such extreme speed that the surrounding water collapses. When the strike happens, a cavitation bubble forms, releasing heat, light, and a devastating shockwave. Even if the blow doesn't hit the prey directly, the explosion alone can be enough to knock it unconscious. That's why larger predators quickly learn to keep their distance. In nature, it's not the biggest that wins, but the one that strikes first and fastest. Beyond its absurd strength, the peacock mantis shrimp has one of the most complex visual systems ever recorded. Its eyes can detect wavelengths of light the human eye could never perceive, including polarized light patterns. This allows it to identify prey, rivals, and threats with almost unimaginable precision. Scientists study this unique vision to develop advanced sensors, cameras, and even military technologies. Such a small animal has become a reference for human innovation. On the ocean floor, every movement is calculated. Every strike is final. For this crustacean, mistakes are not an option, and survival depends on mastering physics better than any other animal around it. But if extreme strength impresses, strategic intelligence can be even more terrifying. In deep, open waters lives the blanket octopus, an animal that appears fragile, almost ethereal, drifting gently as if it posed no threat at all. That appearance, however, is a trap. The blanket octopus has developed one of the strangest defensive strategies ever observed in the animal kingdom. It doesn't produce its own venom, but solves that problem in a shocking way, by stealing weapons from even deadlier creatures. This octopus rips venomous tentacles from highly toxic jellyfish and carries them like living whips. What makes this even more impressive is that the blanket octopus is not immune to the jellyfish's venom. Even so, it manipulates the tentacles with precision, using only the necessary parts to avoid the toxin. When a predator approaches, believing it has found an easy meal, it suddenly faces venomous tentacles that don't belong to the octopus, but that the octopus has learned to control. It's as if nature created an animal capable of stealing lethal abilities from other creatures and turning them into its own defense. This isn't strength. It isn't speed. It's extreme adaptation. There's another detail that makes this species even more fascinating. The difference between male and female is so extreme that, for a long time, scientists believed they were completely different species. The female is dozens of times larger than the male and carries the famous blanket, an expandable membrane used both to intimidate predators and to appear much larger than she really is. The male, on the other hand, is small, discreet, and lives a short life, often dedicated almost entirely to reproduction. This extreme contrast shows how survival in the ocean can take radically different forms within the same species. When we leave the aquatic world and move onto dry land, brutality takes on a direct, physical, and uncompromising form. The male kangaroo does not fight for entertainment. Every confrontation has a clear objective: territory, access to females, and genetic survival. These animals use their tails as a third support, creating a perfect tripod to unleash extremely powerful kicks with their hind legs. These kicks are not random. They are calculated, fast, and capable of causing severe fractures or even fatal injuries. Before the attack, there is a silent ritual of intimidation. An upright posture, chest expanded, direct eye contact. Every movement is used to evaluate the rival. When the fight begins, there is no wasted energy. The kangaroo uses balance to grab its opponent and deliver precise blows to the abdomen or chest. Near water, there are recorded cases of kangaroos leading rivals or predators into deeper areas, using their own weight and strength to drown them. None of this is uncontrolled instinct. It is strategy. These confrontations decide who stays in the territory and who is forced out. For the defeated, the consequences can mean total loss of access to food, shelter, and reproduction. In nature, every fight carries a cost too high to ignore. The male kangaroo represents brute force refined by evolution, where every muscle, every bone, and every movement serves a clear purpose. Impossible speed, strategic intelligence, and overwhelming strength. The peacock mantis shrimp, the blanket octopus, and the male kangaroo prove that nature does not follow human rules, nor does it need to be fair. It favors those who adapt best to the most extreme conditions, even when that adaptation seems absurd to us. Many of these abilities remain hidden, far from everyday human life, but they continue to exist, silent and efficient, shaping life in every corner of the planet. Now tell me, which of these abilities do you find most terrifying? Impossible speed, strategic intelligence, or raw strength? If you enjoyed it, subscribe. If you didn't, subscribe anyway. Maybe it gets better.